With a game as big as WolfQuest 3, there are many things that need setting up. And today I'm up the wolves in the different stranger wolf packs that you'll meet in Amethyst Mountain. So here we have the new Amethyst Mountain map, just as reference. The old map is about this big, so the new map extends all the way down to the Lamar River and all the way up to the summit of Amethyst Mountain, 7 kilometers by 7 kilometers. So there'll be 3 stranger wolf packs holding territory in this new map of Amethyst Mountain. And so we're setting up those packs and configuring what the wolves are that live in each pack. Here's our stranger wolf packs here. So we've actually set up 4 because we're going to have a number of different territory configurations. So in a particular game, there'll be 3 packs with a particular territory configuration, but we're going to have 4 different packs set up. So sometimes the 3 packs will be like Lamar Canyon Pack and Wapiti Pack and Junction Butte. Other times it might be Molly's Pack or Junction Butte and Lamar Canyon. So there'll be variety. Each time you start a new game, it may be different than the last time you played. So, and each of these packs has a rendezvous site. So Lamar Canyon's rendezvous site is here in the southeast, just uphill from the Lamar River, of course. The Wapiti Pack is out here in the west. Junction Butte is up in the northwest. And of course, Molly's Pack is down in the southwest. So 3 of these packs will be active, claiming territory when you start Amethyst Mountain. Now, who's in each pack? So I've already started here for Lamar Canyon, and I've set up 4 female wolves. And we can see how these are configured here. So this is the wolf specs, basically. So I'm just giving them names, kind of like the biologists in Yellowstone. So this is Lamar 4F, the female 4F. It goes from 1F to 4F. Here I can choose male or female. The none category is for other purposes. One of our playtesters got this far in the game the other day and said, all the wolves I meet are hostile. And we checked, and that's because they were all set to none. So, you know, that's fine. But in the game, it makes it harder to play. So we can set their age. So we've got some are 2 years old, some are 3 years old. We will have some older wolves in these packs. There's some interesting research on the value of older wolves, which we'll talk about at some point in the future. For the cosmetics section here, we designate which coat they use. If the coat is tinted, to what extent of the tint here, that's 0 to 1 scale. So those are kind of mid-color and mid-level tints. The eye tint, and then we can designate what howls they have. So the primary howl and the secondary howl. So let's see, like this one. I guess I haven't. It's like this one is using howl number 3 for the primary and howl number 4 for the secondary. So I need to set these as different ones. And I'm going to leave the ears alone mostly, I think, here. The body modifications, so that's for some of the stuff we saw a while ago in one of the videos showing the new customizations. We can configure those. If they have a radio collar or not, let's give Lamar 4F a radio collar. Limpy, we may or may not have Limpy in WolfQuest 3. It's with the new wolf model and many more animations, it gets to be a lot of work to make a Limpy version, but we're still looking into how to do that. Stats, actually, this is outdated. We're actually going to have a new system, so I haven't got that ready to show yet. And then the personality. We've talked about this before, that every wolf will have personality, 3 different axes on their personality, from cautious to bold, from loner to social, and from lazy to energetic. So again, these are on a 0 to 1 scale. So 0.5 means they're not too cautious, not too bold, kind of in the middle. But a 1 here means they're very social. And this means let's make them a little bit lazy. See, it doesn't have to be all or nothing or midpoint. I can make this one somewhat lazy, not terribly lazy. So what else we got here? The pack name, Lamar Canyon, of course. And then when you meet them, if they are an opposite sex wolf that might be interested in leaving their pack and joining you to start a new pack, we can set the genetics. In this whole section here on the genome, this is actually all calculated in the code. We don't have to mess with that here. But we can first of all select how closely they're related to you, your player wolf. Are they a close relation, maybe just typical for wolves in the northern range of Yellowstone, or distant? they've come in from maybe outside the park. So a lot of these wolves in this area are going to be typical. Most of them come from those wolves that were introduced into Yellowstone in 1995 and 1906. So there are some genetic relationships, but mostly not too close. So we're going to call all these in the Lamar Pack typical. And then this level of interest, if they meet you and you go into that courtship gameplay, this is how interested they are in becoming your mate. So again, on a 0 to 1 scale, so you can kind of think of it as a percentage. So this would be 10% interested. Some of these are 26% interested, 25%, 35% interested. So this one, you have a head start on these that have a bigger number here, that they're already more persuadable on that scale of interest. So we've set up these 4 females. So what I could just do is duplicate these, and I'm going to do this 1M, 1 male, change the name here to male. And I can then, if I want to keep it high interest, let's make it a little different so they're not all the same. I think most of these in the Lamar Pack should be the same relatedness, right? They're typical because, they may all be from the same parents, so they would have the same genetics in that sense in terms of their connectivity to other wolves in the northern range. But, sometimes you could have, let's make this wolf 3. So they're older than the other wolves. Actually, we could make all the ones that are 3 years old. Let's make them all distant. Because then that implies that the parents of these 3-year-old wolves came from further away, was just less closely related to you. But then that parent died, and so the surviving parent found another mate who was more closely related to you, and so all the 2-year-old wolves in this pack are this typical relationship. So we can have a little variety. So you could meet several wolves from the same pack, and some would be more closely related than others. So that's how we configure these, and I'll go in and edit all these later. And I need to edit all these and make them, varied and different. So we take these, and I'll make more. Each pack is going to have 7, 8, 9 wolves in it. You won't meet them all at once generally because they'll be out on patrol or just hunting in their territory, and usually in smaller groups than the entire pack going out together. So there's these 3 resident packs in the game world, right? And then there's these dispersal packs. Some might come from these resident packs, but they have already decided to leave their pack and go see if they can find a mate and start a new pack. Some of them might have come from farther away, outside the map area or even outside Yellowstone National Park. And these are going to be generated more randomly. So each of them will have this same kind of definition file, but it'll be a lot of this information will be generated randomly, so there'll be much more variety. And so when you start a new game in Amethyst, the Lamar Canyon will always have the same wolves, and Wapiti Pack always the same wolves. So if you play it multiple times, you start Amethyst, start new games, you'll get to know the wolves you see in there. You'll see them, the same wolves each time. Then they'll always be there, unless during the course of the game somehow you manage to kill one, which is quite a feat if you are a lone wolf against a sizable pack like that. But the dispersal packs will be randomized. So each time you start a new game in Amethyst, you'll meet different dispersals. They'll come from different packs. They'll have different personalities. They'll have different coats. So that'll be a nice, I think, balance of kind of consistency and realism. These are the real packs that live in this area, and some randomness and variety. So every time you play, you can either try to go after the same wolves you meet in the resident packs and see if you can find somebody you can persuade to leave their pack and join you, or you can go see who's shown up this time among the dispersals that you can find out there on Amethyst Mountain. Okay, so now we're in the world. We're moved over to the eastern area, and we can overlay the Lamar Pack, so we can see we're just on the edge of their territory. So some of them might show up pretty soon here if we hang out. There is some pink. That is not going to be stranger wolves. That is some elk. Oh. Yes, it looks like they found us. So they are not too happy to see us here. That V over their head, that's their fiber fin. See, that's another game mechanic. We'll go into more detail later, but that's how you tell if they are feeling more like fighting or running away. This one obviously looks like it wants to fight. So here we go. We found one of the members of the Lamar Canyon Pack, and it is not happy to see me here. So maybe we should just run away, actually. Yes, it's going to escort me out of the territory, I think, rather vigorously. Yeah, let me go, come on. Jeez. Okay, so, you know, when they're defending their territory, they are a little harder to get to know on a personal basis, but they will definitely find you and tell you which way to go. There we go. So yeah, look at that. Their fight meter is dropping a little bit because I am on the run. So that was apparently a solo wolf on patrol. You will find others in groups, and again, you'll get to know them because they'll be the same members of each pack every time you play the game. Well, there are more of the members of the Lamar Pack out there, but I gotta get back to work on the game. So check in next week for another video, and if you have an idea of something you'd like to see in these upcoming blog posts, let us know.